Hello everyone, welcome back to LaExcellence Bengaluru presents current issue of the day, episode number 155. In today's episode, we will be discussing a very important topic, especially from this year's mains exam, that is India-Africa relations. We will see why it is in news. First, we will understand India-Namibia relations because it has been a point of contention these days. It has been in lots of newspapers covered. And then we will understand India-Africa relations, significance, areas of cooperation, challenges, and how do you address these challenges. Okay, I am covering the topic in a holistic way with the relevant data and examples will be provided. Paper 2, International Relations. Context is, recently Prime Minister Modi was in Namibia, where he was conferred with Namibia's highest civilian award, and he said that India supported Namibia's freedom not just through words but by taking real action. Okay, stating the historical relation between India and Namibia. So Prime Minister Modi has been on an international foreign tour run, you can say. Initially he started with BRICS nations. From BRICS nation he went to Argentina, and then he went to Namibia, and then he went to different Trinidad and Tobago, and recently he was in Namibia, and where he said about this one. So what is the reason behind moving to all these states? Okay, see the BRICS, Argentina, Trinidad and Tobago, Namibia, etc. They are part of Global South. Okay, what is this Global South? It is not like the countries which are lying below the 0-degree equator. It is not that so. It is the countries which are underdeveloped or developing in nature, or which the countries having the similar demands with respect to climate change, with respect to economy, etc. Okay, they are against the unilateral global order which is supported by Western countries and America, okay, USA. So all these countries are Global South. So India, led by Prime Minister Modi, is attending all these countries or visiting all these countries in a bid to showcase that India is still voice of Global South. India is still the voice of Global South, or it is still a face of Global South. Recently, there was an issue with respect to India's stature as the Global South leader. Why? Because in Israel and Palestine conflict, India openly supported Israel, not the Palestine or Pakistan openly supported Israel during the earlier initial when the war broke out or when the conflict broke out. India supported Israel, stating that it was the Hamas who started the attack first. As a result, many of the Global South countries started opposing India. Okay, they thought that India is moving towards Western countries. As a result, the outcome was that India was defeated by Pakistan in the UNICEF elections or UNESCO elections, and also India was defeated with very less countries attending Voice of Global South summits in India. Okay, Voice of Global South summit was conducted in India, and many few countries visited the meeting, which showcased that the Global South or the world of developing and underdeveloped countries are against India's stand of Israel. So in a bid to regain that momentum, regain that voice of, or regain the status of India being the voice of Global South, Prime Minister Modi is attending all these meetings, attending all the Global South countries, and also recently in the BRICS nations final summit, he used, in the sense India used a strong word against the Israels, where they condemned Israel and USA on their attack on Iran and Palestine. As a result, India is now getting that support of the Global South back again. Okay, so world order, it is a ball game. Okay, you have to give something to get in return something. Okay, it doesn't work on a Gujarat doctrine way that you give without expecting anything, but instead in reality it works like this. If you want something, you have to give something to us. Okay, there is a reciprocal relation between different countries in the world order. Okay, now again moving back to the topic here. So topic, India and Namibia relations. In the recent meeting, both the leaders highlighted historical support and diplomatic foundations. Prime Minister Modi said that India was among the earliest global voices supporting Namibia's independence in 1946 at the United Nations. Supported SWAPO, which is South Namibia's main liberal movement or liberation movement, diplomatically as well as materially. and India hosted SWAPO's first diplomatic mission, giving it a global legitimacy. Okay, and post-independent diplomacy, strong ties post-1986. Leaders like Dr. Sam Nujoma are remembered fondly by the Indian communities. And PM Modi highlighted India's principled support, not just rhetorical but with real action, be it in the United Nations, be with respect to NAM, etc., etc., and also recent call for the African Union to be inducted in the G20. All these emphasize that India is moving towards the closer India-Africa-Namibia relations. Then, digital diplomacy and development cooperation. Recently, India and Namibia signed Memorandum of Understanding on UPI digital payments, health, entrepreneurship and disaster resilience. Namibia becomes the first African country to adopt India's UPI system, and also joined Global Biofuel System or Alliance and CDRI, that is Coalition on Disaster Resilience Infrastructure. Both these initiatives were led by India and the United Nations, boosting digital and climate collaboration between India and Namibia. Then, South-South model of cooperation. India promotes mutual growth, non-interference and respect for sovereignty based on the Panchsheel model of Nehru. Offers capacity building tools unlike Western models focused on extractive investment or debt-led infrastructure. Okay, so India's investment in these countries is mainly focused on capacity building, which is against Western or Chinese investment, which focus on extraction. Okay, they expect something in return. For example, China follows debt trap policy or checkbook diplomacy, which is not the case with respect to India. Example, India, Ethiopia, Agri, and India, Tanzania, IT Center of Excellence. Okay, then now we studied about India, Namibia. Now we have to shift the focus to overall India and Africa. Why Africa is important for India and why Indian-African relations are so good, and also what are the challenges in the previous years. Okay, so first is the areas of cooperation in trade and economic relations. Bilateral trade stood at 98 billion and in 2024 it stood at 103 billion, with India among Africa's top 5 trading partners. India's investment span telecom, pharma, automobiles and infrastructure. Health and education. Pan-African e-network project connected 48 countries via tele-education and telemedicine. This is one of the key objective or key achievement of India. Scholarships through ITEC and ICCR, training thousands of African students and professionals has been a key achievement. And so first is trade, second is healthcare and education, third is defense and security. India is providing military training, naval exercises and counter-piracy operations. Example being, India signed defense cooperation agreements with Mozambique, Seychelles and Mauritius. Okay, which showcases that it is not just the words but the actions. Okay, then technology and digital public goods. India promotes digital public infrastructure such as UPI and other like digital ID systems. The best example is recent UPI agreement with Namibia, Mauritius and Tech Transfer Memorandum of Understanding signed at the India African Forum Summit. Okay, very important points. These are not just for the namesake, these points are very important. They can be a fodder material for your mains answers. Then climate resilience and energy section. Africa is a key partner in International Solar Alliance. Namibia, as part of the Modi's visit, joined Global Biofuel Alliance, Coalition for Disaster Resilience Infrastructure and also joined International Solar Alliances. Okay, so the key areas of cooperation are climate resilience, energy, technology and digital payment, trade and commerce, defense and security and health and energy. At least remember the key subheadings. Then key challenges. First is with respect to limited private sector engagement. Indian private sector lags behind China in investment. For example, in comparison, Chinese FDI in Africa with 40 billion is higher than India's 12 billion investment. And in logistics and connectivity, there is poor maritime and air connectivity limits, which limits the trade. No direct shipping lines between major ports. Capacity gaps, that is lack of local infrastructure and skilled workforce. Indian investments often need parallel capacity building as well. Okay, and strategic competition, that is rising presence of China, Gulf nations and Russia in Africa provide a competition, a strategic competition. China's Belt and Road Initiative offers massive infrastructure loans through their debt trap policy or checkbook policy, which has to be countered by India. So if these are the challenges, what should India move towards? First is institutional strengthening. Revive India African Forum Summit, which was last held in 2015. So we had to bring back the India Africa Forum Summit. Then establishing India Africa Trade Investment Council to institutionalize economic agreement. Remember this council, India Africa Trade Investment Council. And boosting infrastructure connectivity, that is expand project lines of credit via Exim Bank of regional road, rail and energy infrastructure, so that we are boosting infrastructure connectivity as well. Then promote India-led Sagar initiative for maritime cooperation. Okay, since we saw that there is no direct connectivity between different or major ports between Africa and India, we should focus on promoting or expanding this Sagar initiative to Africa as well. What is Sagar? Security and growth for all in the region. Okay, then next, enhancing digital diplomacy. How? By scaling up UPI and DPI collaborations with African countries, share India stack such as UPI, Aadhaar, DigiLocker as open source solutions with local customization, and diversified and decentralized development aid, where the aid should be focusing on agriculture, climate adaptation, micro-grid electrification and clean water access. Okay, Africa comes under the developing and underdeveloped countries. As a result, there have been challenges with respect to water, food, other aspects, which is resulting in lots of deaths due to diseases and hunger and famines. So India should focus on addressing these issues. Example being solar electrification of 100 villages in Africa under International Solar Alliance led projects. Finally, focusing on strategic education and youth focus. Expand scholarship quotas, set up more centers of excellence in African universities, collaborate on skill development programs tailored for Africa's youth bulge. Okay, when you build connection between youth to youth, then it is going to help in people to people connections. It is going to develop India's soft power. It is going to develop the presence of India in Africa, not just in a finance or economically, but also as a culturally. Okay, it will have a good word of mouth about India. So in the new age, soft power is very important. So this is though a small topic but very important and significant topic. So with that is why I covered in the current issue of the day. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it and also share with your friends. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.